All right, so this is a quick little tutorial on how to create something like that. Something basic, little recipe page. Doesn't look like much, but this is how it's built in one piece. How do you do that with all those lines? So I'm going to show you how to use rules, how to use and edit paragraph styles, basic stuff. So we're going to start a new document very quickly, 8.5 by 11, because that's what it is. And we're going to start to do what it is, how it's set up like this. 3 columns, gutter of 0.25, it probably is 0.25. Yeah, it is. Margin of ½ inch. Yeah, that looks about right, right? And we're going to do 1 page. Go, okay, good, create. We don't need a bleed on this particular document because we don't have any images or colors bleeding off the edge of the page. So we're going to create that. And I already have copied the text into a blank document, basically. So this is what you start with. You start with a text frame, right? So you pick your text tool, you stretch a text frame right there, and I can just paste the text in there, right? All loose in there. So it's overset text, of course, right? You can see the little square, the little red square at the bottom down here. So the first thing you do to match this guy right there, you make a 3-column text frame. So you select your text frame right here, you right-click on it, and then you go text frame options. You're going to create number of columns right here. You're going to go 1, 2, and 3 columns. Match the gutter width to your page right here, so everything lines up. And then what we're going to do here, we're going to do column rules. That means it's going to be those little very thin little dividers in between the columns. So I'm going to insert column rules right here. You can have a start from the top. You can reduce that. You can go negative as well, and that extends it out past the edge of your text frame or not. So I'm going to make it a little thinner because 1 point is a little thick. You can change the color. We're going to keep it in black. We're going to make it a 70% tint, or maybe a 60% tint. So it's a little bit of a light gray like this. And that's, basically it for now, right? So just go click OK, and I'll go into the preview mode. So hit W on your keyboard. This is looking pretty good. I'm going to switch over here, and I'm going to check that. So this is a Charter 9-point Roman with automatic leading 10.8. So I'm going to go select all, right? So Command A or Alt A, select all. And I'm going to make 9-point. And I'm going to find Charter, right? So I just type Charter Roman. There it is. So there's my type right there. So that's my text. I'm going to create a paragraph style for this. New paragraph. And I'm going to call it, text. I'm going to make a shortcut for it. I'm going to Command 0 if you have an extended keyboard with the numbers on the right-hand side. You can do Command number 0. If you go Command number 0 with the keys that are above your letter keys, it's not going to work because that shortcut is already taken by the operating system. So it has to be the extended keyboard with the numbers on the right-hand side. Next thing, I'm going to look at that. I'm going to go, okay, so I have a bold version right there, to highlight some text in here, right? And that is a character style. So I'm going to create that quickly. Let's see, I'm going to bold one word, making a little space. There it is, right after directions. I'm going to select all that, make it bold. And you can see if you change a style, your paragraph style right here has a little plus, meaning it's been overridden, meaning it's been modified outside of your paragraph style. And in this case, I want to create a character style. So I'm just going to go into create character style, create new style right there, apply it, right? double click on it and then rename it bold. And I can also create a shortcut for it. So I double click on the whole thing. I get my little dialog right here. I go shortcut. And for bold, I like to go Command-Shift-0. What I tend to do is I do Command and a number for my paragraph styles, and a Command-Shift and a number for my character styles. It's just a different, it's a way of, it's my way of working through large documents very quickly. So I have my style here, I have my character style, my paragraph style, great. Now I need to have the title style right here. Title style is 14-point indent condensed. So we don't have to keep the same thing, but I'm gonna go with the same thing for now. So I'm gonna create, I can do either way. So I can design it from here, from my control bar, and then add a new paragraph style, or I can just, create a new one. Apply it, and then double click on it, and I'm gonna call it title based on text. So I want to scrap that shortcut because it's my title. I'm gonna go Command-1 and I'm gonna change my font right here. In condensed, bold, it was 14-point. I think it had a little indent and spacing, so a little space after, meaning it separates the line, the following line, something like that. Sure, that looks good for now, right? I'm just gonna go back. I missed that. It's all caps. That's the space after right here. So I'm gonna switch back. And I don't even have to select it anymore, because this is a paragraph style. I can just go directly into my little dialog window right here. My basic character settings right here. The case was all caps. And then the character color is not set yet. Character color comes from my color theme that I have here open, which the window does not go away. But basically it's the color theme from this image right here, the cake itself. So that's the next thing I'm going to do, is I'm going to drop the image in there. So I go Command-D or place. I believe it's right here under File, Place, and I'm going to place that image right there. My desktop, it's on personal, file in there, mooncake, open. There's my image. So if I click once, it'll be the full size of the image, right? If I go through that image again, if I click and drag, let's say from my margin right here, and I click and drag it, it'll stick proportionally to that size right here. So is it looking about the same? Ooh. Yeah, it's looking about the same. At this point, I want to do a little bit of a text wrap around, so to push the text out of the way. I'm going to go into my window, text wrap, and apply a little bit of text wrap right here. Text wrap around bounding box, around the object shape. So I'm going to go with the bounding box, or I can go with the jump object, 6.5, same thing at this point. I want to add a little bit of space at the top, right? So it separates it a little bit. You can see that there's the line doesn't go all the way because the text does not go all the way. So next thing I want to do quickly, I'm just setting things up right now. The Hong Kong mooncake recipe right there. This one, I don't have a text paragraph style on this one. So I'm going to go and do it quickly. In condense, 31, bold. And again, this is for demonstration purposes. There's a bunch of other ways to do this quickly. So I'm going to go 31, in condensed, bold. So there it is. So it breaks it apart, and it's of course stuck in within one column right here. So what I can do here, I select my title. I go into my little paragraph icon right here in my control bar, and then I go right in here. So if this is not available on on your laptop, for example, it's also available in that little hamburger menu on the right-hand side right there. And then you go into span columns. This is probably stepping out of my preview window, unfortunately. So yeah, there you go, span columns right here. So here my screen is large enough so it shows up right here. So I'm gonna go, you know what, span 2 columns. So the text wraps around over 2 columns right here. And then the rest of the following text follows into those 3 columns. What I wanna do here as well, it's got a ruler underneath, a line underneath. This is how you do it. Paragraph again, your little hamburger menu, and you go paragraph rules. Unfortunately, again, it steps out of my window again, my preview window. So I'm going to step it like this. There you go, paragraph rules. You have the option of doing a paragraph above or below. So I'm going to go below in this case, turn it on. There's my line. And it's always, by default, it's always on the baseline, meaning that where the letters actually sit. So you can offset it. So you can scoot it down, change the thickness of it. In this case, I want to do 2 points. So it's a little thick. And I want to add, as you can see, I want to have that line right here butting against the column rule right there. So I go right indent, I go a negative 0.125 because my thickness of my gutter is 0.25, which is 1/4 of an inch. And then it lines up. Next thing I want, of course, is I want to have a little bit of a space after right here. So this is in my controls up here. I can just click a few times until I get it right. So my ruler being, there you go. So now we have things lining up. And I'm going to change the color, of course. So I don't have my my colors from my color theme there because I haven't loaded that up yet. So color theme is as simple as picking up your eyedropper tool right there. So eyedropper tool will pick anything, right? We'll pick this color, but if you click and hold and you go color theme tool, then you click on that image and it picks up the colors from that image. And then from that little button right here, you can add that to your swatches. So you just click on that and there goes all the colors that were in that image are now in my swatches. Next thing I want to do, of course, I want to make sure that this is a style. So character style, paragraph style, I mean, I'm going to create a new one. And I'm going to call it header. Based on text, no thank you. And then I'm going to pick the color. So we had the yellow right here. Perfect. Thing is, the ruler is the same color. So now how do I get out of that, right? So go back again into your header style because we just made that. You go into paragraph rules right down here. Pick your below rule that you created. And of course, by default, it is the color of the rule below is always by default the color of the text. So I want to just change that to black. And voila. Just like that. So this is starting to look pretty close, right? So we have here, we have a big gap there in between things, right? So how do I do that? How do I manage this? So you can see that there's a much bigger gap, space after than what I have set up here, right? So there you go. Just change it up like that. It's not quite the same measurements, but it's okay. It's the same. It's just for demonstration. So at this point, I have, you know, my title. Oh, I have a second title right here. I have title number 2 right here. So this one is incondensable 12 point. Okay, let's go back in there. So this one, remember, we made a shortcut for that. But this is a title 1. So I go command 1, and there it applies. Whoa, it applies my style. Sometimes InDesign gets a little confused. So we have 1, 2 main titles. That's it, and then 1, 2, 3 subtitles. So this one, I'm gonna make that guy again in 11 point. It's not in alternates, it's in content. Sorry, right there. I'm gonna make a new style. Title 2, shortcut, command 2, right? Not based on text again. Character color, pick my color. Yeah. So lotus paste. Syrup for dough, mooncake skin dough. Syrup for dough, there you go, command 2. Mooncake skin dough, command 2, right there. What I have as well here are a bullet style. So bullets work slightly differently. So we're gonna do this actually. We're gonna use that and create a new style. Call it bullet, not on text. This is how we're gonna do this. You're gonna go into bullet numbering right here, pick a style, make sure it's a bullet. There, this is what happens. But the problem is like it's completely whacked, right? Like the spacing is whacked, etc., etc. So you have a left indent, a first line indent, and a tab position. So my tab is quite far because after my little bullet, the character after is a tab. It's this little accent looking with a T there, meaning it's that gap that is between my little bullet right here and my text. So I want to reduce the tab position, let's say to about 1/4 of an inch. My left indent, I want to make a negative. No, I want to make my first line indent. Make that, sorry. I want to make my left indent a positive, and I want to make my first line indent a negative. And then things line up. My tab position is the same. Again, my left indent is like the whole thing gets pushed off, and my first line indent is negative, so meaning that pushes the bullet point back onto the margin. So it's a positive and negative space basically. And I'm going to click OK for now. What I want, as you can see in here, I have a square bullet, and here I have a round one, different character, right? That is a character style. I'm looking into my character styles. I'm going, well, it's not here. So how come? What? Maybe it's not a character style. Maybe it is a bullet style. So I go back into my paragraph style, double click on my bullet, go back to bullet and numbering, and then you want to add a special character right there, right? So you want to add a character. So charter, the typeface charter shows up all of the extra characters that you may have in the typeface. So some display typefaces do not have that many characters. Some do. This one does. This one is beautiful. It's got hundreds of characters. And within that, there might be a square bullet. Maybe not. No, it's not. So I know that the square bullet comes from Zap Dingbat. Zap Dingbat has all those little icon looking characters, numbers, and whatnot. So I can pick an arrow. I can pick the square that I have. I can pick a bigger round number. So I go, you know what? I'm going to go pick the square, add it, and click OK. Now I select my character, and there it is. So it's quite big, of course. So I'm going to go, sure, character style, bold. No, none for now. But now we're going to keep that. We're going to create a new character style, actually, just for the bullet. I'm going to create a new character style right there. Double click on that, and I'm going to call it bullet. Bullet style, based on nothing. no character style. I completely ignore that. I just reduce the size. I go, you know what? I'm going to make it 8 point. And I'm going to change the color as well. I'm going to make a colored bullet. I'm going to make it yellow. That's it. So my character style is made. I have to, again, go back to my paragraph style. It's kind of the back and forth, right? Go back to my bullet character, paragraph style. Pick my bullet style. My bullet style is that special character again. And now I apply my character style in there. And I find my bullet style that I just made. And there you go, yellow. Okay. I still find it a little large. So I go into my bullet style, the character again. I go into my size and I reduce it. 6 point, yeah, 7 point is better. There you go. Now I can just select my paragraphs right here, apply my bullet style, select all that, apply it, boom, done. Quickly, those paragraphs right here, my text right there, has a little bit of a space after, a little separation between paragraphs right there, which is 0.625. So I forgot that. So I'm going to make that my text. And you can see like all the text is like, there's no gaps in between. So double click on that paragraph style again. Indent and spacing, I'm just going to move this out of the way so we can see it. And I just add one little notch right there, and then it just splits everything. And it's a little easier to set. I remember there's some text that was bolded. And then so I can go into my character style paragraph, like my window right there, or I can just apply the shortcut that I made, which is Command-Shift-0, and there it's bolded. So note this. I believe this one was also italic right there. There was an italic right there. The note, yeah, it was an italic style. So I'm not going to do that yet. I still have to fix that stuff. My ingredients, my directions, stuff like this. So what I want to do now is I want to have the directions there on top of that column right here. So what I could do is I could just, put my cursor right here in front of directions, and I hit return, 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 return until it switches over. If I show all my character, my hidden characters, I have like 6 returns there, which is not exactly the right thing to do. I'm going to delete that. So instead of doing that, I'm going to go to the end of that paragraph right here, and instead of hitting the return key, I'm going to hit the enter key. So on the keyboard, on the laptop keyboard, it's function return. So here I hit enter, and it bumps it off to the next line. So I still have that bullet character there. I can just hit it forward delete. What that does is, instead of having my paragraph return right here, it creates this, and it's a colon break or colon break. Yeah, so that's what that is. It bumps it off, and it's still one text box, right? You can see that I'm completely off on this particular one. It's just not the same at all. So I'm thinking this image is probably a little smaller. Oh yeah, much smaller. So this is the image, and you can select and move it around. In this case, it's a whole lot lower. So I'm going to look at the measurements, 3 point, approximately 3.25. I'm going to select that image right here, change my reference point so it doesn't change, so it'll scale from the bottom right here. And then I'm going to unlink that, and I'm going to reduce this thing to 3.25. It fits. I'm not going to do all of those little, bolding here and there, etc. So I'm not going to do all that stuff. Remember, there's one thing that we didn't do is that italicized style. So as an example, this was how to create this thing from scratch. How to create this this document from scratch. But this document right here already has all those styles, right? There's already the character styles, the paragraph styles, and those can be transferred over or copied over into a new document. So for example, swatches as well. So I'm going to change those swatches quickly just for fun. I'm going to change the red, although I'm not using it anywhere, but I'm going to change it to that. I'm going to change the green to a lime green, something like that. And then the blue here, I'm going to make it a little bit more turquoisey. Something like that. Just for demonstration. So you have already all those styles established in this document, and you want to bring them over into a new document. So as an example, so I'm going to save that document. This one, I'm just going to keep it like this, as is, and I'm going to start a new document just for fun, because we already created all those styles, right? So there's my new document again. I'm going to keep the exact same stuff. Make the text again. I'm going to switch over to my text in here, and I'm just going to paste that in there. Again, starting from scratch, right? There's nothing in there. But the thing is, you know, I'm going to save this one first. I'm going to save recipe demo. So what I have here is I have a document here that is completely blank, and I have this document and that one as well that have already styles. So I can go in there, and I go into my paragraph styles right here, and I'm going to the little hamburger menu right here, and I go load paragraph styles, because they already have been made somewhere, right? So go to my personal folder, the mooncake recipe, actually the recipe demo, because there's one more style I want. And here it shows, so you select the document, you have it open, it doesn't matter, you can have it closed or whatever. You can load the styles that you've already created. So here you can go, you know, uncheck all, and I just want to have, you know, just the header, just the bullet style, the text. But because I want them all, I go check all, and I go okay. And now they've loaded into my new document with the shortcut. Both the paragraph and the character styles are ready to rock and roll. So I can go in there. First, I have to do my text frame options. I have to do that. There's no styles for that. Column rule, insert column rule. We said about half. And oh yeah, percentage of, let's say 60, right? And now I can just go and apply my header, apply my title number 2, apply my bullet. Actually, this is bullet 2. And then with the keyboard, you can go command and arrow up, and that gets you to the next paragraph. And because I have shortcuts, I have my title 2. I can go command shift and then arrow down, and it selects all the text. I don't have a shortcut for my bullet, so I have to click on it. Again, command shift arrow down. Command shift arrow down, it selects the text. Apply the bullet. Command arrow down gets to the next paragraph. That was a title 1. Command shift and arrow to the right. You select one word at a time. And I have a shortcut for the bold, so I go command shift 0. Oh, it didn't work on this one. It doesn't like me. This tells me that I'm missing the font for some reason. Oh, you know why? Because I have not applied the text style yet. That's why. Yeah, it's not applied yet. So I go command 0, and now we're good. So this is how you make a document very, very quickly. Again, command arrow down, and it gets you to the next paragraph, right? And then command shift, right arrow, you set one word at a time. Command shift arrow down, you set one paragraph, up or down, whatever you want to do. So bold. And then now I have my paragraph styles that I didn't make. So here again, so quickly, here I have an italic style right here in my character style, but in this part of the document, I don't have it because I loaded those styles. I should say, those styles in my third document from the second document. While I still want to have my italic style, and it could be coming from another document, it doesn't matter. So again, hamburger style, hamburger menu, I mean, load character styles. The mooncake recipe is the one I want. They're already, all of those character styles are already here. I don't want that. I want to have my italic only. So I just select the italic one and I go okay. And now it's available right here. So I can just select that, apply italic, and voila. So this is really helpful when you do GDT10 documents, you know, when there's repeatability in a bunch of documents that you're making, when you're making a series of sales sheets for a client or whatever, you have, you know, the same colors, the same styles throughout. Oh yeah, speaking of styles, I completely forgot. So you can, as I said, you can carry those character and paragraph styles, but you can also carry over your swatches. So right now the swatch came over, right, with my styles. But remember those colors that we changed in the document number 1, those crazy colors right there? Well, I can go into my third document right here and do this exact same thing. Hit the hamburger menu right here, load swatches, find my recipe, my mooncake recipe document, and there they are. All my colors are here. So you can carry colors from one document to another. You can carry paragraph, character styles. You can also carry master pages as well. So if you go into your pages palette right here, same thing again, hamburger menu, you know, master pages, load master pages, and then grab them from a document that you've already made. So in this particular document, I don't have any master pages, so there's no point of demonstrating that, but you can carry them over from one document to another. So you get that repeatability, and you can make multiple kind of documents within the same style. So the cool thing about this is you go, okay, well, you know what? That third document right here, well, I'm gonna make it slightly different. My header, I'm gonna change the color, right? Color change, and I'm going to make it that turquoise in there. Then, right? So it still carries the same style over, but it's a different color, right? And you have a different recipe, right? So there, that's how styles and how you can carry from one to another and recreate that very, very quickly. So I hope that helps.